Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners. You are tuning into the Goldylocks Productions presentation of the Spiritual Insight Show with Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sacred Circle this evening, October 24th. Already, the end of October. What happened? So I have a very special guest this evening, as you can see. And I'll be bringing him on in just one moment. Just want to give everyone a chance to come on in and get settled. And it's gonna be a great night. It's gonna be, I think, very educational. I know it was for me. And when I first found out about sidereal astrology, and that's all I'm going to say right now because I'm going to let our very special guest go into the details of that. Just for those who are watching live, just say a good hello and welcome. Those that are watching live on YouTube and on our Rumble channel as well. So we appreciate all the thumbs up on YouTube and the Rumble rants and plus the Rumbles on Rumble. And so thank you, everyone. And hello, Sugar Kim and Sarah. Super Space Cookie. Super Space Cookie. Is that not a cool name? All right, Sarah. So, all right. So I just want, for those who are watching new too, my website is whitesagewoman.com. And I'm going to slow down a little bit because all these shows are put into audio to the audio streaming platforms. And so for our listeners, whitesagewoman.com, I'm saying Sage, S-A-G-E, whitesagewoman.com. We appreciate all of our viewers and listeners. So without further ado, I would really like to bring on our special guest. And hello, Ruth. How are you? So I would like to bring on my very special guest, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about himself, because if I read his intro, I think it's going to take from it. So I want to have this conversation with him. And so Isaac Rodriguez, Captain Ike, otherwise known as Captain Ike. So welcome to this show.
Thank
you. So now, how many of you, show me hands in the chat, knows the difference? Or let me ask this question. Do you realize that there's different types of astrology, yes or no? And put that, there's a 10-second delay, so I'll give you a moment to reply that you realize that there are different types of astrology. So, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and put his website up here too for everyone to see. So are you, yes, you, okay, very good. So do you know there's a difference between tropical astrology and sidereal astrology? Yes or no? Or maybe you've never heard of it. Well, it's a good thing because a very special guest here, he knows all about it. So what got you into even astrology, just even astrology?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been into spirituality for a long time, and we all know astrology is in that circle. But what really started it was I was an astronomer first. I was an amateur astronomer, astrophotographer, and I started noticing that when I was following a lot of these social media astrology sites like Mystic Mama and Goddess Circle and sites like that, I was seeing that they were saying the full moon is in certain place, one constellation, and then when I was looking through my telescope, it was actually in another constellation. So that's what made me realize, well, what's wrong here? So I kind of started pursuing that, asking my astrologer friends, why are you saying the moon is in Scorpio when it's really in Libra? Like, what's going on? And most of the astrologers didn't even know how to map out a constellation in the sky. They couldn't look. So I'm like, why are we so disconnected from the stars? If you're an astrologer and you use signs and constellations, why are you connecting with them? So then I kind of try to answer that question. And what I came up with is that the tropical mainstream astrology doesn't connect with the constellations. And we believe it does. So when someone says, "Hey, you're set," like for my thing, I'm born December 4th. So what do you say December 4th? Oh, you're a Sag. So okay, what does that mean? Oh, that means that the sun, your sun sign, is Sag. So what does that mean? Oh, that means that your sun was in the sign, a constellation in the stars of Sagittarius. And the truth is, no. The day I was born, my sun was in the constellation of Scorpio and on the cusp of a Fucus. We also use the 13th zodiac sign. So yeah, so this is the problem, and what's happening is there's like a lack of, almost like ignorance, like the tropical astrologers don't know enough about the night sky or about constellations to look for themselves to know that their charts are not matching the skies, right? And then when they do find out, they can't believe it because no one wants to change their signs. And then, then there's that whole thing where, well, that's what the whole world or the whole Western world follows. So something is right with what this and something is wrong with what you're talking about. So what sidereal is means star time, sidereal. That's the time that we use for telescopes for astronomy. So sidereal astrology is astronomically correct astrology. So it's astrology that aligns with the actual constellations. So then the next question is and this is all fact checkable. You can fact check all of this. Is that it's called the precession of the equinox, and this is another celestial movement that we go through. And we've all heard of the ages, right? The great year, the ages, the age of Aquarius, dawning on age of Aquarius. So what does that come from? So this is why the zodiac of tropical astrology is out of alignment with the sky, is because we shift back. There's a movement, 1 degree every 72 years, we shift back through the zodiac. So it takes 2,160 years to go through an age, times 12, 25,920. That's called the Great Year. And these are cycles. So in Vedic, in Indian astrology or Vedic, if you study any of that, you've heard of the yugas, right? The yuga, the
Oh,
Kali
yes.
yuga, right? So that's the yuga, is the age, the dark age, Kali yuga, Dwapara yuga, Tetra yuga. What's the gold? I forgot the gold is
Yeah.
Satya yuga. These are the ages. So these are our ages, like age of Aquarius. So right now we're in the age of Pisces. So that's when you look at Christianity and Catholicism, it's represented by the fish. Jesus Christ, the
Yeah.
fisher of men, feeds people with 2 fish. And a lot of symbology has fish, right? Because we're in the age of the fish and we're dawning on the age of Aquarius. That's because so then the next step is, how do you know, like, what's rising on the east horizon on the spring equinox marks the age that you're in. So the constellation that's rising on that spring equinox, March 21st, is the end of Pisces. The last 6 degrees of Pisces is what's rising. So that signifies the ancients would tell time in the Great Age that we're in the age of Pisces. 2,000 years ago, BC, before Christ was born, before the new age of Pisces, was the age of Aries. And that's when the tropical zodiac matched the sky, because that was starting the new age, 0 degree Aries. March 21st, Aries it's a 2,000-year-old calculation that tropical astrology still has, that has not progressed. So that's the issue. So if you go even with a sky app or one of those like stargazing apps on your phone, you can look and put it to the sky and you can see what constellation the moon is in. They tell you the moon is Aries. This last full moon, they said it was Aries. It was really in Pisces. So
Wow, that changes everything, though.
changes everything. Yeah.
But but I think it changes in the better, because I'd rather know that I'd rather be aligned with the real stars. I want to
Yeah.
be aligned with astronomy, because we're electric beings, right? We're energy, and we should know if we're off alignment.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right? And I think
Yeah.
that's how it always made me feel with the tropical zodiac. I was like, this is not me. I don't, this doesn't feel right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
to say
It's
you're a December baby and so am I, but you're at the beginning, I'm at the end.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So you, I forgot where you are, but I think you're a
It's
Scorpio or
not
just getting into.
Capricorn.
Yeah.
It's not
Oh.
Capricorn.
Oh. Oh. Capricorn. Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
And so
But
I was like, oh, you're such a Capricorn. And I'm like, really?
yeah. No. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's almost like, I mean, a lot of people, you too, did Reiki, that do Reiki, teach Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, it's universal frequency, and it's a dial, it's a tuning.
It
So
is.
if you're slightly out of tune, you're not going to get the proper universal messages. And I think it's deliberate that we don't have this knowledge of connecting our astrology with the stars. It's not like something that just slipped up, because the ancients practiced with precession. The ancients, that's why all the monuments are built. The monuments are built to align with certain stars that rise in the east at certain times to signify a new beginning, a new year, or whatever. Like the Mayan pyramids, even the Egyptian, the Sphinx, all the stuff
Mm-hmm.
aligns all due east, and due
Yeah.
east that something significant happened, and that tells you the time, the age that it was built in.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
some speculate that the Sphinx and the Great Pyramids was built in age of Leo, because its face is due east and it's shaped like a lion.
Yes.
So that's the time clock. This is a clock,
Yeah.
written really, literally written in stone. So this is how the ancients practiced through precession. It's cycles,
Mm-hmm.
and um, the great mystics, the mystery schools, even the ones that are around now, the Gnostic schools, right? Rudolf Steiner,
Yes.
all of these people practice sidereal astrology. They don't practice tropical astrology. Yeah,
Ah,
this is was before now. This knowledge was for like mystery schools,
yes.
and then let all the laymen, let all the common folk practice with this tropical,
So,
because they're never gonna get it. And through my studies, what I found, what really put me on the path to just to stick with it, was I was reading a book called the Hermetica. It's the Hermetic text. It's basically Hermes Trismegistus, which is actually Thoth of Egypt,
okay.
right? He's the ibis-headed scribe, the great bearer of knowledge. And there's a conversation that they're having, and Atum, who's supposed to be the prime creator, like Atum, and then the atom. So there's a conversation, and Atum, they're talking to Atum, and they're saying, well, the human beings on that planet are going to be too powerful if they know the way of the lights, meaning the way of the stars. Because if you look through the Bible, you'll see that too, the lights. You have to
Mm-hmm.
know the Maseroth, the lights. The Maseroth, if you look at the Bible dictionary, literally means the 12 signs of the zodiac. So,
Wow.
yeah. So this is a conversation that they're having, and so Thoth and the great gods, meaning the planets, are saying the people on that planet, they're going to be too powerful if they know the way. And Atum replied, he goes, not to worry, I'm going to build a mechanism that will control those humans from birth to death. And that mechanism is going to be called a zodiac. And I'm going to put the zodiac in the sky. So it's sort of then gets into like quantum entanglement,
Yeah. Yeah.
theory, electric universe theory, because was there an entrainment of these constellations to emit a certain energy? And if you know the energy that they're emitting and connect, you cannot be imprisoned by the mechanism. This is where, this is why I study. It's because if you know the proper vibration, then you can harmonize with the vibration, and it becomes nothing. It can't hold you anymore, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Okay, so viewers, remember what we've talked about was that purpose, how those that I don't like to say the controllers, but those who have purposely held us back from our divinity put up that frequency fence. But if you're properly attuned, you jump that frequency fence all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so this just um, another way of putting it, of stating it, of validating that. And so isn't that great? I just got chills. I love that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, to keep us, how else are you going to control the masses if
Mm-hmm.
everyone's divine, right? If
Mm-hmm.
everyone's in their divinity. So if you kind of just distract them a little bit and go over here.
Mm-hmm. Right. Just a little bit, just a
Yeah.
slightly off, and that's the whole thing with hands-on healing, with healing energies. You have to attune with the energy. If you don't get that station right, you're not going to hear the proper tone. And the frequency is important. The 432 hertz. We know that 432 is the universal frequency, right?
Yeah.
And the pyramids, if you just look up the pyramids, it's built on a 43,200 scale of the Earth. So all of that 432 is embedded in the pyramids. And if you look further into the pyramids, it's supposed to be like they say it's like the whole Tesla
Yeah.
Wi-Fi kind of situation, energy grid that's tuned to 432, the universal frequency. So when you're not tuned to universal frequency, what are you tuned to, right? They did that change,
What
the
was that?
Rockefellers, right?
Yes, yeah. It was I forget the frequency, but 432, which is interesting, is my favorite tuning fork. Remember that,
Yeah,
guys?
yeah, that's universe.
432.
Yeah.
But I think they went higher. What was it, guys?
Yeah,
If you
the
can help me
440.
remember.
They went to
Yeah,
440.
440 is totally,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and
So
it's
I heard
only
too. Go ahead.
okay, no, it's only slightly off. That doesn't make a big difference unless you really
But it
are
does.
in tune. And
Yeah.
ancient classical music was tuned to 432. Like that's why classical music sounds really beautiful, because it's
Yes.
432.
Oh,
It's
I
not
love it.
440. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So they
And I
know.
heard that the pyramids too, that are actually crystalline, and they
Mhm.
painted limestone wash or something over it.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't know
so
that. Oh,
that
wow.
because if you were the lucky ones to go inside and then go
Mhm.
into the chambers,
Mhm.
there's shards of crystal quartz everywhere. Well, where did it come from?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I might go to Egypt this winter if the world is
Ooh,
okay.
wow, I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. What's
yeah. If the world doesn't close down again. So, yeah.
or just wait till next year. It's going to be so much better,
Yeah,
right? Well,
yeah,
you got to
exactly.
go when it's right for you, though.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I found that interesting because that's, yeah, wow.
Mhm.
Um, that makes total sense because we know how powerful crystals are, the crystalline
Yeah,
structure. So,
yeah. Vibration is everything,
yes,
and if you
yes.
realize that light is vibration, and you realize that the stars do matter, because if you start looking into string theory and quantum entanglement, you realize that energy in the electric universe can travel at instantaneous speed. So the whole model of gravity, or that light speed takes X amount of time to get here, so the light doesn't really matter. That's not true. That's what they led us to believe, but that's not true. We're in an electric, plasma bubble, this whole universe. So
Mm-hmm.
everything you do can affect. All particles are entrained. I mean, it's not like, we're not. It's not like intensely. You know what I mean? But
Right, yeah.
we are all connected. We are all. We literally are, and we're connected with the stars,
Yes.
and that's why it makes. But it's pays. You have to pay attention to the real placement of the constellations. I mean, everybody divine is divine. Everybody, no matter how you sleep or wake, whatever level you are of awakening, everyone is divine. Everyone knows their zodiac sign, or so they think. Everyone knows my sign. That's my sign. But then, okay, so right, so but do you know your real sign? That's the thing. I know my sign, right? So everybody believes in astrology. Every single person on this planet believes in astrology. That's how powerful it is. But yet it's all wrong.
Yeah, Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So that,
another sleight of hand. Woohoo!
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how you do it. That's how you make it work. Because you feel
Yeah.
like you're lucky to have, and yeah, whatever, but it's just off. It's not. I mean, tropical astrology, is a little valid in some ways because it's with the seasons, but it's still. I don't agree that they should be using constellation signs and symbols for that practice to align
Right.
the stars' seasonal movements. 4 months, 3 months, cut it in 12 months. 30-day increments. The constellations even in the sky are not even 30 degrees. So why would you use 30 degrees for the signs? If you look at my charts, the constellations are all different sizes
Yeah.
because those are the precise measurements in the sky of these constellations. So
So Sarah here, Sarah Super Space Cookie. That makes sense why I love classical music with
mhm.
the tones, with the hertz. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And Sarah, you're homeschooling. Um, when I homeschooled my two sons from preschool to high school graduation,
Mhm.
um, I played classical music in the background, and it really helped them. And so
Yeah.
I know that you do that too for your son or anyone that, whether you
Mhm.
homeschool or not, or just playing it in the background when when the family's together, or when you're even by yourself. I love
Yeah.
listening to it. It
Yeah.
just, it really helps. It
Yeah.
really does. So I put his website again. Click
Mhm.
on it, but go back to it later. And when you go look at his website, he has got some amazing photographs that he has taken. I think through your telescope, right? You have one where
Yeah.
you can take the. Oh, those are
Yeah.
great pictures. I
Yeah.
love it. It's like you just feel instantly connected with it. It's like, oh, so nice.
Yeah. That's my meditation is going out at night with the stars and photographing with my telescope or my other cameras. So that's how I commune. That's my meditation.
Oh, that's beautiful
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah. Yeah. See. Yeah, and I teach
Oh.
courses and I do readings, so they can see all that on the website.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
yeah.
Yes, and I had him do a chart for me in a reading, and it was astounding. I really enjoyed it, and I go back and listen to it. He gives you a recording, and it's a recording of him reading your chart for you, and giving you a little reading. And I
Mhm.
go back and listen to that quite often because
Yeah.
it's like because it feels real. It feels
Hmm.
right. It
Hmm.
feels like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
you can get to you. They can sign up for all of this on your website,
Yeah.
correct?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then you
Yeah.
also have classes.
Yeah. Yeah. I teach courses. I have different levels that I teach, so you can get into a course and learn. I teach a easy formula, like it's like paint by numbers, so it's really easy to learn, even if you don't know astrology and you don't even know the symbols yet, or you don't need any of that to start. I just show you how to just program your brain to remember, and then there's a snap that happens, and then you get it. Because we all have this knowledge, but it's we've literally been brainwashed since birth,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you'll get it, and then it's the same thing with me. I always was into astrology and never resonated with me. I even 10 years before I became an astrologer, I bought a learned astrology book, and it just wasn't resonating with me.
Yeah.
It just didn't until I cracked that code that was right there. That's like, it's not resonating because it's literally not resonating. You're not looking in the right, you're not aligned in alignment, so you're not getting it. And I was really in tune. I'm a tuned person. I lived aboard a sailboat for many years. I've taught Reiki, so my energy, senses are strong, and it just wasn't ringing until this. Now, once it rang, it's like you know, that's it. I can't do anything else. You know, somebody does ukulele to 432.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, you see, it's not much difference, but the slight difference makes a lot of difference.
Mhm. Oh,
And
it
that
does.
that that's the secret. That's what they did. Look up. I think it was the whole Rockefeller Foundation.
Yeah, it
They
was.
they
They
they, they bought like the whole broadcasting, whatever it was. I forget all the details, but it's like they made the universal broadcasting attunement to 440.
Yeah.
So everything had to be tuned. All the orchestras had to be tuned to 440. Yeah, and that's what modern music is.
The handful of the elites did that to us, Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, right? So,
Yeah.
oh,
This is it, and this is why astrology, is in the state that it's in. I mean, the most popular astrologers are tropical astrologers, and they have no spiritual connection at all. They do astrology to tell you, fake you to make you believe when you're going to get married and what color, what color shirt you should wear and what day, and what's your favorite, cocktail drink based on your zodiac sign. I mean,
really?
it's like nonsense. Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah. And that's to keep you distracted, to just keep shallow. And that's the issue. Yeah.
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 That is, but yeah, I try to read that, the astrology too, the tropical, and I'm just like, this doesn't even resonate. I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm like, no, it doesn't, because like with you, we have to vibrate with the information, and that's our tuning fork of divine truth.
Yeah.
We start to vibrate when it's real, and so, and all of you know this too. I know all of you do this as well, and so when there's something that we're reading or that we're listening to, and it's like, I'm just not feeling this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's like when I saw you, I was watching. I can never say his last name right, so I don't want to butcher him.
Nicholas
Venemanus.
Yeah.
And so I caught his show, and you were there, and I was like, there was some other guy too talking about flat Earth stuff.
Yeah,
like,
Tyler.
Just be quiet and let him talk. Let Isaac talk, please. Just be quiet. I just wanted to hear you talk, and I was like, okay, I got your website. I'm gonna go check you out. And I was like, cool. It was just that connection. I was like, yeah, that right there. That's it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah.
That was a nice show I did too. Yeah, we spoke about a lot of things. The 13th zodiac sign, the hidden. It's called Ophiuchus, but if you really look up Ophiuchus and you go into it, there's so much history there that it actually Ophiuchus ties into Imhotep of ancient Egypt is the god of medicine, but it even ties into literally Jesus Christ consciousness, because if you look at the Last Supper, how many people are in the Last Supper? 13 people.
Yeah.
It's 12. His 12 disciples and him. And he's in the middle with the sun. He's the real. The Ophiuchus sign is about the realized human that is outside of the zodiac belt. That's why some can argue that Ophiuchus is not part of the zodiac. Only his foot is in the zodiac. And that's because he's in between the two worlds. It's literally right there in the sky. It's like it's all there. And this is why 13, they entrain you since childhood to believe 13 is a bad luck number.
It's a bad number. No, it's not.
Yeah,
I've never resonated with that. I just want to say hi, a quick shout out to Maureen, who is watching on Rumble. Thanks, sweetie. Yeah, absolutely. So are there 13 houses then, or still 12 houses?
I use the 12 because that's how I bring it down to the earthly plane of the whole, 24 hours, 2 hours per house. So that's how I bring it to Earth, because that's the way the sun is seen, on from the Earth plane. But yeah, there's 13 signs and Ophiuchus, and it's related to a living person. It's known as Ophiuchus was once a living figure, but if you trace it down, he's Imhotep of ancient Egypt, which they say is the creator of the pyramids. He's the architect. He's a high priest. If you look into that, and they have the same symbol, it's the caduceus, the rod with the snake. Except this has one. He has one snake, but the modern day medicine rod has two snakes. So I've never really got a real answer to what that really is about. But it's one snake versus two snakes.
Or maybe the wholeness, because I heard that the Kundalini is hijacked too, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because it represents separation. The two snakes, masculine and feminine, well, the one snake would be oneness.
Yeah, whole oneness. Exactly.
right?
That's what
Maybe
makes it.
that's how I would take it, is like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're in the age of Pisces, and if you look at the symbol of Pisces, it's two fish going in two different directions. That represents duality too,
Yeah.
polarity. Yeah. So it just might be the age that we're in, and we're having to learn, and then from there we can go into the age of Aquarius, because then those are jaggedy lines, which could represent electricity, but we say it's the water bearer.
Hmm.
So but then we also call the space is called the Great Sea of Stars. So there's a connection there, maybe. So
Hmm.
there's different rabbit holes you can go with that.
Oh yeah, so many rabbit holes.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
Many of these viewers jump down many rabbit holes, don't we?
yeah.
Hello, Veronica. Veronica's watching from Australia. So
Oh
it's like
wow.
Monday morning, isn't it, Veronica?
Oh yeah, it's like late. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
thanks for tuning in, Veronica. And do y'all have any questions? Do you have any questions for Isaac?
yeah. Let's take questions. Yeah,
Yeah. See if y'all have any. They usually have great questions. I don't want to say that, and then they're all like, I don't know what to ask, you know.
yeah. Tell, tell me about my love life. I don't answer those questions.
Yeah, I know.
I don't do
You
that
gotta love
astrology.
yourself. That's
Yeah,
that's that's what
yeah,
you gotta love yourself. That's the
yeah,
big thing right there.
yeah,
And so, yeah.
yeah,
So that's interesting you say that, because that's the Christ consciousness symbol, and it hasn't each culture had a representation of that Christ consciousness.
yeah. Yeah, the Mayans had the Quetzalcoatl, and the symbols of Quetzalcoatl. If they look, even the Aztecs, they point. So the Mayans and the Aztecs, and who else? I mean, pretty much everyone. They point to the galactic center. That's the center of the Milky Way galaxy. So if you have dark skies where you are, you'll see that you can see the Milky Way. That's where the 13 zodiac sign. That's where the foot comes in into that galactic center. And the
Nice.
Mayans show that that's where the great god Quetzalcoatl comes from. He comes to and from that great rift. The great rift is what they call it too, and the Aztecs call it the great rift or the dark horse or the llama. They say that's where they bring the messages. The ancients, the wisdom builders and keepers, they come from that point and they give us messages so that we can evolve. And then you look at that point, and what do you see there? You see the foot of a fucus. So, same thing, Christ consciousness, the high vibrational
Yes.
being
Yeah,
that
yeah.
can travel to and from the earth plane and the other plane, whatever that is.
So you think, because it's really not a person, but it's a frequency, isn't it? That consciousness, it's that
Yeah,
frequency that we, yeah, yeah,
yeah. I don't know, like I'm not into religion. I
yeah,
know you're a reverend, but I believe in Christ conscious. I believe it's a
oh yeah, I do too.
consciousness
Yeah.
that can be attained.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the person who attained it is Jesus, a person named Jesus. He
Right,
was
right.
able to attain that Christos,
Yes, for the
The
Christian. Yeah,
Christ. Yeah,
yeah.
and I
The
think
Christian. Yeah.
that all of the ancients have a representative that can attain the Christos energy. So
Mm-hmm.
that's Quetzalcoatl, that's Krishna, that's like you keep on going, and they all have the same stories too. If you look, I don't know if you ever saw Zeitgeist. They make a good case. He makes a good the movie Zeitgeist. He talks about how the zodiac is actually it's a biblical story, and that
Mm.
all of the gods that I just mentioned, Mithras, Krishna, Christ, they make a whole list. They all have the same story. Born on December 25th.
Yeah, yeah.
They die, and they resurrect 3 days later, and that's supposed to be related to the sun in the winter solstice.
Yes.
December 21st, that's far south as it can go. And then you wouldn't be able to see it anymore. So you say, our God, our sun God, Sun, is dead. And then 3 days later on Christmas, our sun God is rising back. He's born again. Because then you see it coming back 1 degree every single day to the north until it gets to its point. So in that movie Zeitgeist, he has a clip and he shows it and he makes a really good case about how it's just a story. You know,
Yeah.
it's a story of, yeah. The Christ story is an astrological story.
Yes.
The sun, yeah.
Yeah.
SONSUN, yeah.
I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
and the reverend thing. I'm spiritual,
Okay.
as well,
Mm,
but it's the reverend is to bring up that vibration of that word.
yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
contemplated whether I wanted to use that or not, but I was like, yeah, because we're going to make it,
Yeah.
we're going to bring it into the light. Wendy, there are charts on his website that you can look at.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a chart generator. You can click on free chart and generate your chart. And if it doesn't work, because a lot of technology has been changing, some people can't run charts, then you just email me and I'll give you a free chart. And then you can look. Yeah, and Robin, I see Robin says, does your sun sign change? Yeah, it changes.
That's true.
Because this shows you the accurate constellation that your sun is when you were born. Because the tropical astrology is totally disconnected from the sky. And you can look this up yourself. Like
Yeah.
I'm not some new age guy talking about some cryptic language that you can't figure out and you got to pay me $1 million takes my course. Nothing. Just look up tropical astrology and sidereal astrology. Or you can look up, does tropical astrology align to the constellations? Or the difference between tropical and sidereal. Look those two words up. Tropical and sidereal. And you'll see it no matter where you look, it's going to tell you. Sidereal is with the stars. Tropical is with the seasons. So,
I was saying it wrong.
yeah.
I think I said side reel because
Sidereal.
it's
People
real.
say sidereal. Yeah. It's sidereal. Yeah.
Side
Yeah.
reel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sidereal. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just my thing. Hey, look, it's real. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's real. Yeah.
Side,
It's real. Exactly.
side
Yeah.
reel. Yeah,
Yeah.
side reel.
It
Okay.
means star time.
Yeah.
Sidereal. Sidereal.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. There
When
you
we're
go.
doing our telescope and aligning, it says like sidereal time, and then that's how we calculate stuff. So,
So it was really let me just see some of these comments real quick too. So yeah,
mhm.
Rob, it does change your sunshine. Like I said that always thought, Capricorn, but no, I'm not. So
Yeah.
excited. And I mean
Yeah.
it's like okay. And I was kind of skeptical at first. I was like, yeah, okay, let's see. And then
Mhm.
after my session with him, and I was like, okay, wow, that was great. That's
Yeah.
right on. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can even, like I said, there's a free software even for a computer called Stellarium. It's called Stellarium, and it shows you the night sky. And you could just look yourself. You can put in your birth date, and you'll see. You look for the sun, and you see the constellation that it's in. Because this is astronomy, no connection to astrology. So it's not like anything could be manipulated. This is a real sky chart. But any sky app like Skywalk, Starwalk, or any app that you can look in the sky and it tells you where the planets are, anything like that will tell you. You'll see that the constellations that you see in a tropical chart don't match the sky. So
And I found it. I think this is the one you were talking about here.
Stellarium, are you posting
Stellarium,
it?
right?
Yeah.
Stellarium.org. There you
Yeah.
go, guys. There's that link. You can check
Yep.
that out
It's
later too.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can walk around the sky and you can put in your birthday and you can see, wow, my sun was really in this sign. So tropical astrology is 24 degrees out of alignment with the sky. Because for the past 2,000 years, we've been moving back 1 degree every 72 years. It clicks back just a little bit. But after 2,000 years, it's 24 degrees off now, backwards. So December 4th, I'm a Scorpio, right on the cusp of Scorpio and the 13th zodiac sign. But
Wow.
all my life, I was told I'm a Sagittarius.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But my sun wasn't a Sag when I was born.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
fascinating. So
yeah.
it's. I know you and I briefly talked just about and my viewers here knows my feelings about the moon, and we're just gonna go really brief with that.
Yeah.
Um, so when I had asked, my committee of, you would call guides or celestial beings, I
Mhm.
had asked them, hey, show me what did our ancestors see in the sky? Did they see the moon? And then no, they didn't see the moon. And so then they led me to we'll guide you, and they always do. And I know a lot of this happens to a lot of you too. Is that now with this technology, right? Then they take us to a site, or we're just, oh look, here we are. And so unlike how I was guided to Isaac here, it's like yay.
Yeah. Right.
But it was, I was like, so show me. And then I was on YouTube and something came up, and it's this channel on YouTube called Thunderbolt, and they had David Talbot's
Yeah.
theory
Yeah.
about the symbols of the alien sky.
Uh-huh.
And they showed you that I didn't see any moon. It was all how the ancients saw the planets, the Saturn, Venus, and Mars, and it was like mind blowing. I'm like, there it is. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. Yeah, David Talbot. I think he's the one that wrote Electric Universe book. I think that's
yes,
him.
yeah.
That's him, yeah.
I really liked a lot of. I was like, wow, that resonates really nicely. And so,
Yeah. Well, there is a big belief system that the moon is an artificial satellite.
Yeah.
So there's a book, Who Built the Moon? It makes a good case for that. There's evidence out there that NASA dropped something, probe or whatever on the moon, and it rang like a bell. That's not hidden. Yeah, that's all out there.
Yes, that is out there.
So that's a whole other rabbit hole.
One of the presidents wanted to blow the moon up.
Yeah, I think I heard something like that too. Yeah.
You can. I forget that I did a topic about it, but now I forget what the project was actually called. And I'm like, seriously? I think in the 60s, like 60s or something, they wanted to detonate nuclear devices, see the reaction of it. Let's just blow the moon up.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
you could have ended the mind control stuff then. You should have. No,
yeah. Yeah, what did they say? It's a command center. It's a lot of. I mean, I don't know what makes sense, but that's where the word lunacy comes from, right?
Yeah,
lunacy comes from Luna Sea. Yeah.
See, that's where they were sending the 448 frequencies to the Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, it is like. It is all rabbit holes there. Yeah.
Right? The satellite dish, it's a dish that's sent. Right? So it's like, okay, but it's been this great awakening. It's been, we have many guardians coming in now, celestial beings that are helping. Yeah. Because we have reached a certain threshold. So they've taken that over. So
yeah.
That's great.
Harvest time, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yes, harvest time. Yes, exactly. Yay. So let's see. Was there any other questions? So your sunshine. Let me look up here and see. Veronica, that's terrible. That pollution, light pollution.
Well, that's a common thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you can find some sky to look at the stars and.
Yeah, it's getting worse now with you got chemtrails too that just appear on nice clear nights, and then so yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, it's gotten worse over the past 10 years since I hardly can get a clear night anymore. It's very rare.
Yeah, I had saw something about that, just how it's supposed to block the sun and the stars, the light. It just makes it bounce back. That's how you don't see it. And it's like, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah, it's bad.
Okay, so Sarah did ask how long. She goes, you probably already said it. I'm sorry. How long have you done astrology? Or he did astronomy first, though. That's where he saw that.
Yeah, the whole process is over 10 years. Astronomy, astrology, the work, the uncovering information, the tightening up of the information, getting the courage to then, teach and give readings. That whole process we're going on over 10 or 11 years now. That in this lifetime, because what happened, is that I realized when I really got into it was like, the vibration, the energy, spirit came and said, well, you just picked up right where you left off. Now you're on track for your life. And,
absolutely.
And it was like, this is not the first time you've done this, I'm like, I know. It's all came clear that I was an astrologer many, many lifetimes. Mm-hmm. So, but on Earth, we're born with amnesia.
Yes. Yeah.
That's one of the agreements. We can't remember who we were. So we're born, and then the life journey is to remember who you were and then clear up all your mistakes and then get it right this time without knowing who you were. Like, that's a huge challenge,
It is.
That's why, we're masters, we're divine, and we just have to pay attention to all of the signs that will help us to remember.
Okay, so Sugar Magnolia, Kim, you are in California and Nevada area, right? Are you still in Lake Tahoe? So she's asking, have you noticed a drop this year in visibility from fires and volcanic activities, looking at the stars? So I know that California has a lot of those fires.
Oh, I didn't know if they were fires, but this year in general, I've noticed a
Mhm.
big drop in visibility at night. Big time. Like to the point where I used to go out every night and do it. Every night, like after, in between the moon cycles, because when the moon starts to occupy the sky, you can't really see because the moon glow. So
Yeah.
there's like a 2.5 week period that you go out, and I
Yeah.
was pretty much out every night, and to like 3, 4 in the morning. And then now it's like I hardly go out. Well, I do go out, but not like before. It's like super rare.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I don't know. I mean, that's probably be a whole other show of what I think is really going on. But
Yeah, yeah.
there's something that's not right, and it's not natural. That's that's blocking out this sun, the energy. Because the moon reflects sunlight. That's all it is. It's
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, yeah.
different a
That's all
different
it does.
filtered version of sunlight.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's it. Oh well, we can talk about those things here. We welcome those kind of outside the box thinking.
Yeah, yeah. I'll collect my thoughts on that, and then maybe next time we could do it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah. We'll think of something. It'd be fun to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
there's a whole reason why this is all happening now.
Oh,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's the
Let's see
time
if there.
for ascension. It's
Right.
the time, and they're just I think they're blocking the awakening. That's the attempt. So that's what we see. And what's the
Mhm.
most vital life giving substance on Earth is sunlight.
It is. It is the sunlight.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Linnell. Ding, ding, ding. Exactly, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
And so, yes, that's one thing I've loved to do all my life is look at the constellations. We
Yeah.
all, well, let's just do it. Don't make excuses. I know it might be hard to see, but
Yeah, one of my classes, I teach you how to look at the constellations, how to measure with your fingers. I
Ooh,
teach that, yeah, because
see,
the thing, like, the constellations don't. This is why I believe it's a vibration. The constellations don't really look like what they are. I mean, the only thing, I mean, Scorpio could look a little bit like a Scorpio, Libra maybe, but everything else, like Virgo, doesn't look like a Virgin Mother Mary. I mean, Aries is just like a stick.
yeah,
Um, Taurus is just like a V. I mean, so I think it's like universal energies that are when the ancients are building this civilization, they entrain. There's some type of entrainment with the frequencies in the sky, and they map them out by giving them archetype energies. So they say this energy with these constellations in this area is a vibration of Taurus. Whatever Taurus vibration is, that's what that is. So that gets assigned as Taurus because it doesn't look like a bull in the sky. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Sagittarius looks like a teapot in the sky. So if you were really making constellations by the shapes and you're looking at Sagittarius, you would say tea kettle constellation. You're the sign of the tea kettle. That's because it looks like tea kettle, and
yeah.
it's not. You know what I mean? Like Capricorn, you can hardly see. Aquarius does not look like a water bearer. Uh, so these are energies. So
Yes, yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
so, what does the energy feel like? And so, but yeah, when it feels like it's manipulated, that you let someone else connect the dots for you.
yeah, yeah,
This is what you're supposed to see, and you don't, and it's like, what? Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
yeah.
Linnell, add drugs. No, no.
Drugs
Sure, you
back
can
in.
see anything in the sky when you do
Yeah,
that.
you add some good drugs. Yeah, you're seeing. Yeah,
Linnell, it's our rebel. So that's yes, Robin. I know you're the sky watcher. You love to look at
yeah.
the constellations, like the stargazer. If you can still you still can where you live, so that's good.
Hmm.
Um, oh yeah, those yeah, you can get your star name. Oh,
Oh, Orion. Sorry
the star,
about the miscarriage. Yeah, Orion.
yeah,
Hmm. That's an
yeah. You've
interesting
got
constellation. Yeah,
yep. You've got
yeah,
some nice pictures.
yeah. I
On his
got the Orion Nebula. I got a lot of
hmm
stuff from Orion.
yeah,
They say that's a birthing center, which is interesting. As you mentioned, the baby.
yeah.
It literally is scientifically shown that it births suns. It births stars like at a rapid speed. Yeah, the Orion Nebula. And then, some speculate that we are from our sun could be from the Orion Nebula. It was just one of it's a stellar nursery, it's called. That we might just be one of the suns or stars from the Orion Nebula. M42, it's called. Which is
Right.
then makes
I've
sense if
heard
you
that.
look at why we have pyramids always three. A lot of ancient sites have three pyramids, and
Yeah.
they have the same. If you overlay Orion's belt right on top of those pyramids,
Yeah.
even the way they're offset a little bit, they line up.
hmm
So So I don't know. I mean that's something that, of course, we're not going to get that by googling.
Oh no, no,
Yeah,
no.
I mean,
We're not
yeah,
gonna hear that either.
yeah, yeah. But I read some ancient stuff that says like that's why the Orion Nebula, Orion's belt, is so significant. Is because that's where we come from, and then
hmm
the star Sirius, which is the if you trace the belt of the star Sirius,
Yep.
that's also they say part of us come. Some of us come from there as well.
And so now what about the Pleiades?
Yep, a lot of energy with the Pleiades. I mean, that's part of the bigger story is that the Pleiades we're part of a trinary star system, and the Pleiades is the other side of this photon belt. We're in a belt. So to make a long story short,
Yeah.
we're in a belt that looks like this,
Okay.
and that belt we're on this side, and Pleiades is on this side,
Okay.
and we're spinning around. It's right. So oh no, actually, we're coming this way, but we're locked in with Pleiades this way. But what's happening and it's even NASA says it. Never a straight answer. Even says that we're entering into a local. They call it the local fluff. It's like they say it's a dusty area of space that's interacting with our sun, and it's causing it's electromagnetic energy. So if you look into what this photon belt with the Pleiades, it's a photon belt of electromagnetic energy. And if you
hmm
look at the Pleiades and you're looking in the sky, if you know what they look like, they're wispy. They look really cloudy. That's because we're looking at them through the photon belt. We're looking at them
Oh
through
yeah,
this
yeah.
electromagnetic cloud. And
hmm
and so they're there all the time, which is why they
Yeah.
have a heightened consciousness. We have just entering into that belt. And guess when we started? We started on
December.
December 21, 2012,
Yeah.
which was the ending of the Mayan 13 Baktun calendar. And what is
Yes.
there is the 13th sign of Ophiuchus. That is when the sun was there
Wow.
on the winter solstice. So what was that saying was that you are now entering a new age of light, because at this time you're going to be entering into this local fluff. And what's happening is that local fluff is interacting with our sun, and then that sun interacts with our planet, and then we get a DNA upgrade. This is what's
hmm
supposed to happen.
hmm
So then it makes perfect sense um, that they're blocking out our sun, and we're being injected with something that's interacting with our DNA. It makes perfect
Yeah.
sense that
Yeah.
that
It does.
is
Yeah.
it's the blocking of the ascension. So this is the bigger problem. Now, if you knew cosmology and astrology like we're studying now, you would know we're at the age of entering into light. Do not mess with our sun. Do not mess with our DNA, because
Yep.
we're ready to evolve.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and if we evolve, we destroy the system.
Mm-hmm.
The system wasn't created for evolved beings.
No.
It was created for controlled beings. The
Yeah.
system, but we're cosmic. We're cosmic. Enlightened divine beings, and
Yes,
and
we are.
that's it. Like, game is over.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
so
It is.
that's yeah. So that's the Pleiades, and the reason why we're getting a lot of messages from the Pleiades is because if you look into the electric universe model,
Uh-huh.
and you look into quantum entanglement, and then you realize, well, that's an electromagnetic belt,
Yeah.
which means that's light energy. So if quantum entanglement is correct, that means that information from Pleiades can reach us now instantaneously, because these
Yes.
electromagnetic filaments are touching.
Yep.
We're now touching with Pleiades, which is why all of us are awakening. And some of us are going crazy and confused because the system is not designed to nurture this awakening.
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah.
I had heard a theory. Someone had said that our sun was actually one of the suns from Pleiades
Yeah.
that yeah, got
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
dragged over here, sent over here, whatever, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
strayed. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's part of a system.
But yeah,
It's a trinary. They say Sirius is one,
okay.
um, and Pleiades is the other one. Alcyon is the main. Alcyon is called the Grand Central
Oh,
Star,
yeah, yeah.
the Grand
Hmm.
Central Sun. We pivot around that. So
Okay,
that's what that's why Sirius is the doggone tribe talks about that. That we're from Sirius, and they
yes,
knew
they
all about
do. Yeah.
Sirius, and they don't have telescopes. And that's where you get the whole thing of the three kings follow the brightest star. So if you look at the three belts of Orion, if you trace them right down, they hit the brightest star, which is Sirius. So some people speculate that that's what that story is about. The three
Yeah.
kings, the three stars follow the bright star, and you'll find civilization. You'll
Wow.
find, like, where we're from. So there's there's so much stuff to look at. You know.
So here's the thing, no matter how cloudy everything gets and we're in this dust cloud, is if we stay attuned to the 432 frequencies, we can bypass all of that, right? So let's just keep keep tuning in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go, Veronica. You said this makes you burp. Oh, yeah, so nice. So, yeah. So we were already connecting. Just keep connecting. And I like to always call in every morning, every afternoon, whatever. I'll sit here and you can do this with your crystals. You can charge all the crystals in your house to 432 frequency. You just go and tap them. All right. And then you're surrounded by all this 432 frequency. It's very powerful. And so if you don't have a 432 tuning fork, get it, and then you can activate all your crystals in your house, all around you. Makes it very powerful. I think I've gone to this before, but it's always got to be repeated. Is that on a daily basis you can call in and just every day I am activating and bringing in the holy light, the holy divine light into every cell of my body, into every strand of my DNA, and this holy divine light flows through me with grace and ease. And there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it. Words and the power of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. And feel it. Don't just say it, right? Right? Feel it. Feel it. Because words, if we take the time to feel the words, there's that frequency, there's that sound, there's the numbers,
Hmm.
the sacred geometry.
Hmm.
But if we process words from our mind, it loses that magic.
Hmm.
So you process through their heart, right? The sacred heart center. So
Hmm.
yeah. I just bought a wind chime that has a ding at the same frequency, and yes, burp. Well, that's good. You're releasing, Veronica. All right. So, any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to share? I mean, other than just go to his website, sign up. He has classes. I tell you, I want to take. I'm going to get in one of his classes. I'm going to make some time for that. So shove something off my plate to make time for this.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, most definitely check out his website. And final thoughts from you. Final thoughts
From me?
Yeah.
Final thoughts from me?
Yes, from you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I just hope that, this was great for everyone, that they see the truth, and we are out there sharing the truth doing our work, So any support is good for us, because we're the outcasts, but we're the ones that are awakening, people, and dedicated more than ever. I think a lot of us are doing this work. So yeah, I just, just stay the course. Know that it's time for enlightenment, and we're here to remember who we are. So.
That's beautiful. Nothing's going to top that. So good night, everyone.
Yeah.
I will not have a show next week because that's going to be Halloween. I'm just going to take a night off and work in the light, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but I'll be back at the next show in November. So sign up for his classes, sign up for his courses, and we will see each other there. And always in the astral. So many blessings to each of you. Good night. And thank you so much, Isaac. This has been great. I love this hour together.
Yeah. Yeah, no
Let's
problem.
do it again.
We'll do it. Yeah, well, let me know.
Yeah,
we'll get deeper into the other stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, exactly. Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night.
Become a Goldylocks Productions VIP patron. Receive exclusive access to live stream special and other epic perks. Join the Goldylocks Productions VIP community today.